Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
This is why we look so ridiculous.
It's cute.
Do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
Oh, no. Well, when you're married for 15 years.
I think you're going to say every day is Valentine's Day.
No. It become a norm thing, it's like, oh, Valentine's Day, you know what? We're going to stay in, we're going to eat, we're going to avoid the jam, we're going to avoid the people.
Good idea. I've never been a big fan of like these hallmark sort of occasions. I think it's all a scheme to make money from this.
Yes, I agree.
I thought, hey, seeing as it's February 14th, let's have a bit of fun.
Yay.
Serious time, I'm going to say. Serious now.
Oh, okay.
Let me preface this conversation by saying that even though we've never really hung out outside a professional setting, I would consider ourselves friends. We've known each other for a number of years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
Yes.
And the first occasion I think that I met you, you were helping us out at a fundraiser.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes,
you had a booth?
Yes.
Pooches in the park?
Yes,
and
that's
that was
right.
how we met for the first time.
It was Center Point, if you're not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. And you donated your services and your time and, for charity.
Yes. Yeah.
Didn't take a cent. All the proceeds went to our rescue, so we really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And since then, my experience with you has been pretty much the same. Like, you've helped us out. You've helped us find a couple of lost animals. Never charged us. And obviously, I know that everyone has to make a living, and you do charge for services, but that is something that you do not ask money for.
Yeah.
So I would say that I am a fan.
Thank you.
Of what you do, definitely.
Thank you.
As well as a friend. But having said that, I am the sort of person that tries to remain grounded.
Understand.
In reality. Okay. Well, I like to think that fact takes precedence over things that cannot quite be proven. I also like to think that things that are mystical, because I do have a fascination with the mystical, like a lot of people, that things that are mystical and inexplicable, science just hasn't caught up with the explanation yet. So, like, for instance, in ancient times, you used to get storms that sent people into a panic because they thought the gods must be angry. This was before they understood pressure systems and meteorology, and then now we can explain all that. So sometimes when there's supernatural phenomenon, I kind of think maybe science just needs to catch up.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I come from. With my dealings with you, there are things that you have known in the past that I cannot explain how you know them. And this makes me a little uneasy because naturally I have a leaning to be skeptical of things that can't be proven in the way that I can understand them to be.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so excited to delve into this a bit deeper with you, because I want to see if we can find a little bit more of the science of animal communication.
Okay.
Through discussion.
Okay.
The other thing that makes me less skeptical is that you have had no financial incentive to help us in the past. And you have other things that motivate you. You truly believe in the work that you do.
Yes.
And I also think it's really important to keep an open mind, but a questioning one.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Agree.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Please explain to us what you do.
Okay, I do animal communication and healing. And I've been in this line, I think by this year should be about my 10th year. So when I got into this, I would say I was half in, half out.
Who was the one that introduced you?
It was a very good friend of mine. It was very interesting. So she has issues with her dogs. So because she is a rescuer, so she has issue with her dogs, which she rescued and she adopted. So we were going about it, about training, about all, but there is still always this problem there for quite a while. And that's when her friend, which is also my friend, but she knows that lady first, that came to her and asked her about, would you want to be my case study? Yeah, and then that's when my friend came to me and like, hey, you know what? I was like, yeah, what? So and then after that, when I found out about it, but I was still half a bucket. I'm talking about the information. Yeah, I was half a bucket, as in like, okay, I understand animal communication, but I don't really know how it works, and I didn't question. That's how smart I was. Okay,
So no skepticism off the bat.
I don't know why at the back of my mind it was somewhat training, or somewhat like training, or body language communication, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't question. So I was half bucket and kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And the teacher from Taiwan came and started the class here. I joined in. I was doing my homework. And from there, I do see little things change about myself, not the pets yet, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went for the level 2. Level 2 was more in depth, and that's where that really bought me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm really doing it. I'm practicing with someone that I don't know. My partner was, she's a senior of mine. She's from Taiwan, right? So she speaks Mandarin. I speak English.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her. I'm not close to her at all. And I know exactly how her cat looks like. It's like a potato because it's chubby. And her cat loves to sit on the stove.
Okay.
You get me? Things like that. I was like, how would I know?
Right.
Yeah, so in the class I was like, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm getting information.
Yeah.
But I'm curious too. How am I getting it?
Right. You were conscious that you were acquiring the talent,
Yes.
but you weren't sure how it was happening.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I'm getting images. Because when I start off beginning, the only thing I could get was images. I couldn't get much emotions, as in like how the pet is feeling. I couldn't hear sound, but the only thing I can capture is images.
How does this differ from being an animal psychic in your understanding? Is it the same thing, just different language?
It's the same thing, different language.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think psychic is kind of like a more mysterious, fancy word.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So as I was doing this, then I realized all this are actually energy. The only way that I can explain, which people can understand, all of us have energy. A person, a bird, a cat, a dog, plants, crystals. They all have energy. Flowers, right? So it's like tuning into a radio station. So if I'm communicating with the dog, I'm tuning into that particular radio station. So this part about this tuning in, now, a lot of people will think like, oh, you need to be born with it. You have that talent and potential. No, it's not true. It's called intuition. It's an instinct. Your friend doesn't feel good just by a look at her. It's just like sometimes you have this gut feeling. We call it gut feeling, like, something is wrong with my mom. I need to give her a call. Something doesn't feel right. Or even your pets. Something is unusual. She's acting normal, she's eating, but something is not right. So that is the part, that is the tuning in. We all have it, but we lost it in a way is because, I would say, due to science, logic. We tend to, it's just like when we are young, our parents tell us, no such thing, nonsense. You're talking to yourself. You're thinking too much. Again. So that's where we actually throw our belief outside. That's where our belief in our instinct, we throw it outside.
We all innately have that ability.
Yes.
It's just something that we've forgotten throughout evolution.
Yes.
But other creatures haven't. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you think that you necessarily have to believe in this spiritual realm to be consistent with animal communication? Could you be an atheist, for example?
Yes, you can.
Believe in animal communication?
Yes, you can. Okay, so spirituality, it's about believing. Okay, a lot of people they are thinking about spirituality means it's somewhat like religion, but without a specific God. You get me? So spirituality is about believing all religion. No, spirituality is about believing in the energy. Yes, there may be higher up. I call them big bosses.
I'm sure they appreciate the acknowledgement.
I call them big bosses, you know. Yeah, you know. So it's up to you whether you want to believe in that part or you want to believe in, like, example, like some people, they believe in guardian angels. Up to you. But you cannot deny energy.
Were you raised in a spiritual family? What is your religious background, if any?
I'm a Catholic. I'm born a Catholic. I believe in my religion. You know, I believe in Mother Mary. I believe in Jesus. You know, I pray to them. At the same time, I believe in energy. You know, we are all surrounded by energy. There's frequency. Energy is frequency. Frequency has its language. So it's just like when you run or when you walk or when you jog, you actually create different frequency.
That's interesting, though, that you were raised Catholic. That's not the answer I expected from you. Call me racist. That's not what I expected from you. But it's not just about the fact that we are, you know, Chinese and everyone expects us to be Buddhist or Taoist.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, which I'm not. But also because you are quite a progressive thinker, and that is not oftentimes what we would assign to the traditional monotheistic religions like Catholicism. So for me, it's interesting because you say that you were raised Catholic, you believe in Jesus and the Mother Mary and those things. However, there would be, because I come from a Christian family, there would be certain members of the church, Catholicism, from the Protestant church, who would say that what you practice is in fact taboo.
Yes.
It's part of the occult.
Yes.
Because you're recognizing that there are spirits that exist outside the definition of Mother Mary, Jesus, the saints. And if you put them on the same level as the Hindu gods, for example, that would be...
Yeah. Well, I must say this. After I got into this, it did not sway my belief. Okay, I believe in my religion, as in I believe in Mother Mary, I believe in Jesus. Okay, but you can say that I don't believe in the people.
The people meaning?
I'm talking about
the priests?
Okay. People who go to church.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, so I because people will be people. There will be certain... I think this applies to all religion. You can go to church, you can go to temple, but end of the day, your action. You know? So, going to church, going to the temple doesn't make you a good person. It's your action. So, I would say I believe in that. So, I believe in all religion. I have the utmost respect towards Hinduism. I read about it, I talk about it, but I'm not a convert. You get me? So if I were to go into a Hindu temple, I would pay my respect. It's the same thing as I go into a Chinese, a Buddhist temple or a Taoist temple. I pay my respect. Yes, I understand a lot of people disagree. We shouldn't touch it. It's just an incense. It's just an incense. I'm not converting. It's my respect to people that, like my friend may be a Hindu. It's my respect to my friend and to her religion.
Bringing it back to the animal communication.
Yes.
You already talked about how you were getting images before.
Yes.
So there's no particular spiritual language that you would use that is something that is comparable to a language that we would verbally speak? Is there a particular spiritual universal language, or is it images that you were talking about? That's how you communicate.
Okay, in the beginning was the images. So I tried to make sense out of the images, so which I had a lot of difficulty. I couldn't understand. So yeah, that's why we call it in the beginning is all case studies. So we try to understand. It's about practice.
Sorry, give me an example of a random image that you would be sent and you would be confused by.
Okay, this was many years ago until today I remember. So this pet sent me an image of circles. So there is a rectangle, and in that rectangle there's a big circle and two small circles. I was like, oh, it's an art. Wow.
You could sell that for millions in today's market.
So that was my first thought.
Yeah.
So I asked the owner, I asked her, I said, oh, do you have a lot of arts, like around the house, especially on the floor? Because there is one thing that I'm very, very sure from what I got from the pet was that this image is on the floor. So I thought it was placed on the floor, like decorating art, up on the wall, on the floor. And she was like, yeah, I do have a lot. I was like, oh, do you have something like this? And she went, no. I was like, please think about it. I was like, no, I was scared, And she was like, yeah, I do have one on the wall. But I was quite persistent. I told her, no, it's not on the wall. It is on the floor. So we were going back and forth until her friend came in and she was like, what are you guys talking about? And then she looked at the image, oh, that's your washing machine. I was like, it's a washing machine. Right, it's not an art.
I getcha, okay.
Yeah.
I get the confusion there.
Yeah.
What if you are communicating with a pet that was raised in Russian?
We still can communicate. Now, this is the beauty. So, when it comes to animals, they use universal language. And it's just like me, okay, like I wouldn't, my Mandarin is not good, of course I don't speak Russian, which I have Korean clients, I don't speak Korean. So when I talk to the pet, okay, this is the pet, right? So when I talk, that means I'm sending questions over and all. So you just visualize like this is the energy, it goes through this, what do you call it, a translator box. So it translates to what they can understand. And when they answer, it comes back, it goes through a translator to the language that I can understand.
Who is this universal translator?
Okay, this universal translator is basically, because the moment, it's just like now we are speaking, right? So when we are talking in language, when the energy comes out, there's no language. You get me? It's just like when a person is frustrated, she or he doesn't say it out, but you can feel the tension.
Okay.
The energy. So energy has no language. That's the thing. So it comes this way, it works both ways. So no matter, I have so many clients, they're so cute. I speak to my dog Mandarin. I speak to my dog Tamil. I'm like, it's fine. It will work. Don't worry.
So what you're referring to, this energy, sounds like you're giving it a very tangible quality. Because working with dogs for so many years, there definitely is something to be said for the feeling that you get from an animal and the feeling they get from you.
Yes.
However, because I like to be grounded in things that I can touch,
yes,
I have often put that down to body language, signals that are so microscopic that we can't identify them. And the dogs know subconsciously, and we detect subconsciously.
You see, that part where you mentioned, you said microscopic.
Yes.
Yeah, that is energy. You see, the thing is okay, I give you an example. Okay, you're very stressed out. So you come home. Your pet run towards you to greet you because they're happy. Okay, and you pet them. You do what you usually do, but they can sense you. Oh, mommy is stressed out. Mommy is angry. You know what? Back off. Or some will be a good companion. Okay, I'll be good. I'll be nice. I'll just stay beside her. It's just like when you cry. Again, yes, there is an action, but there is the energy behind it. So it's like, mobile phone. Like back then we have phone with lines. Now we have mobile phone which is wireless. So you can't deny that it is wireless doesn't mean that there's no energy. Energy is everywhere. Pets, animals are more sensitive compared to us because we have lived behind this part. It's just like paganism where they believe in nature, the animals, spirit and all. We have lived that part. But animals don't. They are even more grounded than we are. So they are very sensitive towards energy. So energy travels very fast and they receive it very fast.
If you can communicate with animals through images, you would say almost telepathically, I suppose?
Yeah.
What about humans? Other humans?
Can? Yes, you can. Yes.
So do all of you animal communicators communicate telepathically?
Okay, many of them try to. Okay, especially my students, what they learn in class. And then I have a student telling me they are going to send me signal every day to go to the toilet. I was like, of all things.
That's the best thing they can think of.
Why that? But okay, I was like, okay, fine. So now with people, even with pets, yes, we can do that, but we cannot forget the part about free will. So you can block it up if you want.
Do we consciously block it out?
Yeah.
How would you know that someone's trying to get in there? What are you feeling?
Okay, this is the thing. This is the same thing as there is all this, people talk about spirits and all, they get disturbed by spirits. Okay, actually, why do you get disturbed so easily is because, you have a weak free will. Because you get scared at everything. Because, things unknown, you don't know. Yeah, of course you get scared, but your free will, I bet people that they go along with everything, but it's not what they want. They're pleasing other people. They have weak free will. It's not that they are bad people, it's just that the free will for themselves is weak. If you stand firm and say, no, I'm not going to allow foreign energy to enter my energy field. No, I'm not going to allow all this nonsense, whatever magic stuff, to go into my space. It's just like how you would protect your family, your house, your pets. No means no. I can guarantee you nothing can enter.
So did they manage to convince you to go to the bathroom?
No. But I felt it though. I was like, oh, my stomach.
Could you theoretically talk to a caterpillar?
Yes. Okay, there is differences between dogs, cats, insects. Okay, so when it comes to insects, you do not get as many words or as much emotions compared to animals. But yes, you can communicate with them.
When you first started acquiring this ability, did it suddenly get really noisy for you? Because if you can talk to a caterpillar or an insect, let's say, albeit not very descriptive from them, And then suddenly all these voices start coming up. Were you accosted by all these different voices, these sounds? Was it tiring? Was it scary? What was the experience like for you?
Okay, in the beginning, it was not just the insects and all. Me sleeping beside my husband thinking about something, I see something. I'm like, why? What's going on? Yeah, it's kind of like you're not doing it on purpose, but you kind of like accidentally tap into it.
And over time, do you learn to filter these things out?
Yes, you do. You can. Everyone can. Okay, example, when because I started off with image. As I practice, that's where I get emotions. I start feeling them. And then I start hearing them. So I see subtitles, what they are trying to say.
So you say you see subtitles, though, but it's not words, though, right? Because you say subtitles.
Words.
You're seeing words?
Yes.
In English?
Yes.
Not pictures?
Pictures and subtitles. It's like, you go to movie.
Yes.
While you're watching the movie, there's subtitles there.
And you say this is the universal energy translator that's putting into a language you can understand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because this is also the part this is very individual. So things work out best for you in the way that you can understand best. I love comics. I love colors. I love, drawings. So a lot of, when I started practicing in the beginning, like when the dog fight with another dog or cat fight with another cat, it looks like comic images. There was the kapow, there was the flying cake. I was like, I'm getting you. It's for me to understand. So if a person are not so, they don't like this type of things, okay, the way they receive messages will be slightly different. It also plays a role, your character. So if you are a very serious person, okay, every pet that comes and talk to you will be very serious. You'll be like, yes, no.
Oh.
Yeah, because they go with your energy too. Yeah. So if you are too serious and so happen the pet that you're going to communicate with are playful and cheeky, may find you intimidating and might just reject you and say, no, I'm not going to talk to you.
Kind of like finding the right therapist.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Do you eat meat?
Yes.
Does that make it difficult to eat meat when you can communicate with animals and assign them a personality and a character?
In the beginning, yes. As again, in the beginning when I got into this, again, my understanding, my knowledge is again still very surface. So as I practice, as I go further, I understand that you'll be surprised, a lot of pigs, cows, they actually know why they're here.
I see.
What
so they know their life purpose already.
Yes. So again, to me is not about, you know what, you love animals, you shouldn't eat meat. It's about appreciating them. I mean, things are created in a certain way for a reason, right? Instead of, appreciate it. Instead of complaining about food. Oh, the chicken tastes bad. The beef, oh my God, is so bland. Guess what? It's not the meat fault. It's not the cow fault. It's the person who cooks. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to say this, but it's the person who cooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't complain about the meat. Be appreciative.
Yes, that thing gave its life for you.
Yeah, I think that is more important than not eating meat.
Right.
Yeah, because there are people which we need to understand. There are people who, health-wise, they are better being a vegetarian, but there are people who does better with meat. We can't ask them not to eat meat. So yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it's important to just be aware.
Yes.
To be appreciative.
Yes.
And I am very much against the prolonged suffering of an animal, but I understand that life and death comes to all of us.
Yeah.
And just because you may not eat meat doesn't mean that you living on this planet didn't cause the death of another creature.
Exactly.
Because when you harvest crops, when you plant agriculture, what are you killing?
Yes.
Lots and lots of animals in the process as well. So
yeah.
Just to be aware and to be grateful. I agree with you.
Yeah.
What are the most common reasons someone would come to seek out your services as an animal communicator?
The most common reason is to get to know their pets, as in like what they really thinking about, what they like, what they really like, and all. That's the normal one, general. Another one would be illnesses. Yeah, as in like they don't understand why it's happening, how it happened, what exactly is going on, because they can't get. I would say for illness is I'm like somewhat like a last resort.
After they've tried the vet and therapies,
Yes, of course I definitely advise them to go back to the vet, but look at a different direction. So illness, pass away pets. Pass away pets usually for closure. They just want to make sure that their pets pass away peacefully, they are okay. And I think the best one for me would always be matchmaking. I call it matchmaking because they really have a pet or two at home and they want to bring in a new family member, be it a dog or, and they want to make sure that the new family member characteristic will go well with the other dogs or cats at home. I call it matchmaking. It's to make sure the energy matches the pet and the owner.
Does that mean that they would ask you to communicate with a potential that they're looking at before they bring it home?
Yes. Okay, I won't call it communicate because again, when I won't call it communicate because usually what I do is through photo or physically when I see that potential dog or cat that you're going to adopt, right? When I look at them, I see their energy. So someone, I know their characteristic. So when I know their characteristic, I see their talent and potential. I see their, of course, pros and cons in that way, how it goes, whether it match or not. And that's how I help them to pick.
So literally there could be, let's say, a shopping catalogue.
Yes.
A shopping catalogue of dogs for adoption or cats for adoption.
Yes. I get
photos. You could browse through this catalogue and go, yep. Or you could do a Tinder thing. Swipe right, swipe left, swipe right. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes. So,
by the way, I know that you're happily, of course, married, but Tinder for you would be like so easy.
Oh, yeah. But no.
But you'd be super accurate about who you get along with. And I'm not suggesting that you don't go do anything, please. I don't want you to get in trouble with your partner.
Well, you can send me photos.
Okay.
Because my client always do this.
Right.
So they'll go to shelter and all. They'll take photos. At least, I don't know why they always do that. At least 6 different pets. Dogs, cats, and they'll send which one. I was like, well, they all look the same at this moment. All black puppies, alright, but okay.
Right, so they're all in a group.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Not helpful. Okay, so from there you detect the energy, personality, and what's the next part of that matchmaking process for you for adoption?
Of course, the first thing first, I always remind the owner, do not look at the color. Okay, if you may like a brown dog or black one, but when I look at their energy to match with the family members that you have, it may be a white one, I don't know. So don't look at the colors, don't look at the size, don't look at the gender. It may not be what you want. but it is what your family needs.
Okay. Just like finding the perfect partner, don't judge a book
Yes.
by its cover,
Yes.
would you say?
Yes.
Okay. So after that, you can give your best advice.
Mm-hmm.
How else do you assist in that matchmaking process from that point on?
Okay, especially for local makes. So again, a lot of people, this is through my experience, a lot of people, I must say, they have forsaken local makes. Again, I would say this is because of conditioning. So we look at golden retrievers. Yeah, everyone loves golden retrievers. They have fantastic characteristics. They're friendly. They're good with kids, they have their charm, they're good with obedience and so on. Labradors, their breed. Yeah, a German Shepherd. But local makes, I would say because they're makes. So, people tend to forsaken that they too have talent and potential. They too have characteristics. So we need to look into their characteristic, their energy level, and place them in appropriate school. So it's just like kids. If this kid loves arts, you don't put her in science school. She's going to be depressed. She's going to feel worthless. Or she's going to retaliate. You put her in art class and bring her to the best level that you can. For her to grow. Same goes to local mix, because I see a lot of pure breeds. They are the owners. They make a lot of effort bringing them to obedience school. For fun, agility and all, but not the local mix. You see, so that's when I would say a lot of adoption also went wrong. They find it like they're too active, or they are too much work. So again, they decided to return the dog to the rescuer. But instead, should look at the area. Okay, you know what? He's very active. So where would his talent and potential be at? And we'll work on that part. So it could be agility. It could be flying ball. It could be dancing. If you start working on that area, you will see a total different dog. And this has happened in my communication session. I have seen local mixed dog, a male, being a diva. And this dog is now being engaged for advertisement.
Impressive.
Yeah, and even photo shoot advertisement.
Excellent.
A local mix. Brown.
Love to see that. Now I can tell this is something that you're very passionate about, as am I, because the rescue.
Yes.
Would you say that this is such an important part of your role with the matchmaking? Because if you have a breed dog, okay, or a purebred dog, there are certain characteristics that you already know come along with that breed. So you have the expectation of what you want. Sometimes when you have a mixed dog, because they're a bag of, who knows what.
Yes.
The characteristics sort of display themselves as the dog becomes more comfortable in their environment.
Yeah.
And that's really where your services can kick in and help and clarify what the dog really wants and is suited for, because you don't have those breed guidelines.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yes.
Would you say that was where, the communication part really does assist?
Yes.
And how many sessions would one need generally? Is this
one?
Just the one? Okay. Don't undersell yourself, Liz. I'm saying.
Well, for business-wise,
you
I
gotta
would
do the
say
packages.
more, but honest truth,
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because in that session, you can get a lot of information, as in like, I will give the information as in like where to start off, where to go next, and so on.
Okay.
So I would say after that, you don't really need me unless you encounter something. Yeah.
Which hopefully you don't.
Yes.
What is the process of starting a session with you? What are the details you need for a client to provide?
Okay, I need the most recent photo of that pet. Name, age, gender.
Talk to me about the most recent photo. Why does it have to be the most recent? And I believe you also have to have a clear view of the eyes.
Yes. Okay. The clear view of the eyes is because, we always have that saying, eyes are the doorway to your soul.
Is that true?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is. It is also a form of respect, like introducing myself, like, hi, I'm Auntie Liz. I'm here to communicate with you. So, it's just like when you talk to a person, you look straight into her eyes and introduce yourself.
Okay.
That way. So it's a respecting.
Right.
And
if a photo is too old, what's the difficulty?
okay, the energy will be slightly different.
The energy from the photo?
Yeah, okay. Example like the photo now and photo 2 years ago.
Yes.
So 2 years ago, who you are,
Yes.
your energy is different now. So that may interrupt.
Okay. Because I would have thought that the energy would be connected to that creature presently, whether or not it was an old photo and the energy is not actually connected to the photo.
Okay, energy keeps flowing, it keeps moving. That's why we have time, date and all. So time is moving. So again, it's like maybe 2 years ago I love ice cream, but now I don't. But if you look at that photo 2 years ago, there might be some resemblance of I love ice cream there. Yeah, so it stays.
Like a memory of the energy.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. So that's why we need more recent
I
photos.
just find it really disturbing that you don't like ice cream anymore. It's just, I'm just stuck on that. I don't know if we can continue.
Oh no, I love ice cream.
Okay,
I do.
fantastic. Good, that's really...
Yeah.
Okay, so is a video better than a photo? Why do you ask for a photo and not a video?
When they are moving, they distract me.
Okay.
Yeah, like, hey, what
That's
you
fair.
doing? Yeah, I will be
Fair.
focusing on what I'm doing.
Would it be the same as in real life? Like, let's say you were doing a communicate. Is it easier to have the animal there with you, or is that distracting as well?
Okay, I prefer. I do. Okay, as an example, okay, my students, I encourage them to do live photo. Okay, because live, it's a bit more difficult.
Okay.
Yes, because the environment they are in, the mommy daddy is there. There might be other dogs distracting them, so they might not. They're like a child, They are talking to you, and then halfway they're like, "Oh, ice cream."
Yep.
Yeah,
Back on the ice cream.
that's life.
Yeah.
Photo is a bit more stable.
I get you. It's the same when you're trying to train a dog. It's the same when you're trying to groom a dog. If mummy and daddy are there, they're like little kids. They play up.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. Okay, so the next thing is their name. What if, because if you go to our center, like we have almost 300 dogs, I highly doubt that they know their names.
Yeah.
Okay? So in that environment, how do you, because I can say, Sparky, and everyone will come. Everyone's Sparky. So how do you distinguish in that? I know it's quite a rare thing, because most people have that pet and that's the name they know. What happens to the name then?
The name is a secondary thing.
Okay.
Right? But again, it's like you're looking at, it can be 10, 20 dogs there.
Yes.
One group.
Yeah.
If you are looking for a specific dog to match, like say I'm looking for one that to match my family.
Right.
Because I have cats, I have dogs, small, big.
Yes.
So, because I set my intention, this is what I want. And when you look, there will be one that pops up. Yeah. And then that's when I will focus, and then I will check, and then like, is it okay, what's the pros, what's the cons, do you have trauma, do you have anxiety, is it something I can work with, how can I help, if I need to work on it, and then that's when, okay, that's the one.
So the spoken name is secondary.
Yeah,
Okay.
in that situation.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the age and then also the sex of, why do you ask for those things?
I did cases where the dog is 10 Okay, the whole characteristic, the dog characteristic, the personality is like a 3-year-old dog. Yeah, and to me that is a good thing because you're already 10. It's like a 50 or 60-year-old lady still having fun, you know, being childish, you know, like I know how to play, I know how to work. It's like, hey, that's good life, that's being happy.
I understand. So you're asking so that you have some sort of comparison.
Yes.
Some gauge of how to read their communication.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Same goes to the gender. It can be a male, but then behave like a female.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, darling, it's 2025. Let's be whatever we want.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So you're a she now.
That's okay. Not a problem. All right. What is the continuing process then of, now that you've got the details established from the owner, say, how do you firstly reach out? What's your process of contact and conversation? How do you, because I'm thinking, you know the film X-Men? You know the professor in the wheelchair? He has that massive room that he goes into and then he gets like the psychic abilities on and he like zones in on that particular mind. Because I'm thinking that, you know, there's billions of energies out there.
Yes.
Now you're looking for one in particular. How do you find that one?
See, practice. It's all practice. In the beginning, yes, you know, you might like, I tapped into a wrong dog before. I was like, I was telling the owner like this, and I'm like, no, it sounds more like the other dog. I was like, oh. Wow.
Awkward.
Like, okay. Can you give me 5 minutes? Let me disconnect and connect again. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, practice and practice and practice. Really, it's all about practicing.
Right.
Yeah. And then you get sharper. And then you connect faster. You see, that's the difference. You know, like I shouldn't.
Like 5G now.
Yes. It's like poof.
Versus dial up.
Like last time, still not connecting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're in the 5G.
Again, practice. And you see, when you practice so much, you see, okay, I like the question about the photo one, because as you practice, it come to a certain stage. If I were to send you a photo of my dog's butt.
Okay, I've been sent that before. Don't ask why. But
right?
yes, okay. Dog's butt.
You can communicate with that dog.
Oh.
Yes. This.
Because he's an asshole?
Well, I do have clients that love to send me funny things, so I enjoyed it a lot. So about the mind thing, yes. So yes, it's like, again, I would call it focus.
Right.
So to me is when I'm doing a session, I actually strip out this part, which is I won't say I'm not me, but I stripped out as in like my personal emotion, my personal judgment, my ego, you know. I strip out, I stand here as a neutral because I am speaking on behalf. I'm like a postman right now. So I'm delivering the pet message to the owner and the owner to the, you know, so I'm a middle person. I'm just a delivery man. So it's all, again, it's that moment, it's focus. There's no personal emotion in it. You know, as in like, how can the owner smack the dog's butt?
Right.
Yeah, all this.
You've got to be objective.
Yes. So, and that's how we start communicating. But when we start off, usually I won't go straight into it. I will start off with a few verification first. Like, does your dog like to sleep this place? You know, it looks like this. Your dog favorite food, you know, that kind of thing. You know, just to make sure that, to let the owner know that I'm also connected to the right dog.
Do they ever lie to you?
Yes.
Animals?
Yes.
They have the ability to lie?
Yes.
And be deceitful?
Yes.
Can you tell? Or
no.
you get more practice at...
No, you can't tell they're lying. Yeah. A dog telling you, I'm hungry, I've not eaten yet. You really feel that hunger. And the owner will tell you, I only fed him half an hour ago. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
It's just like the other day I just did one. I asked the owner, I was like, oh my goodness, you have not seen your dog for past 2 to 3 weeks? He was like, I just met him last Sunday. Oh. I was like, heartbeat felt like I've not seen you forever.
Right.
So that's how much I would say the dog misses him.
Okay. Their interpretation of it.
Yeah, so it's a lie in a way, but it's a good lie.
Yeah.
You get me?
And you get animals that are grumpy that won't talk to you
Yeah.
when you try and contact them?
Yes.
Do you try again?
Yes. I usually do three times to try to get their permission. And if after 3 times they say no, I will have to tell the owner, I'm so sorry. They have to look for another communicator.
That's fair enough. Now, a few days ago when we arranged this interview, I asked you to contact
Yes.
a particular fella.
Yes.
This handsome guy.
Ginger. Right? Ginger, right?
Yeah, Ginger. So, please describe what you're getting from Ginger so far.
Okay. On that day, the first thing I noticed was that he is a very playful fella. He loves to play. And he tends to jump around and invite dogs to play. He gets very excited because he tends to jump on people a lot. That's how I can tell that he is playful, he's inviting, he's welcoming. So there's this part which I also noticed that he is a very friendly, not friendly, sorry, wrong word, happy-go-lucky. And there was one part that I remember I mentioned. Have he been with you for a very long time? He known you for very long.
And what did I say?
You said, I've only met him 4 weeks. For 4 weeks? I was like, oh, why? This is what I need to double check with you. During his time, he came into the shelter. You know, did you spend a lot of time with him?
Yes.
You gave him definitely a lot of hugs and all.
I worked with him a lot.
That's why he felt like he knows you for a very long time. I was like, 4 weeks cannot be. Something's not right here. Yeah, but I must say, do you find it easy to work with him?
It's getting easier.
Okay. Yeah. Why? This part. Happy-go-lucky. He has this character, happy-go-lucky. He's curious. He wants to try everything, but he does have very short focus, attention span.
So he has ADD.
Yes. Hey!
Was he keen to talk to you? I'm curious.
I didn't even ask permission. And I just looked and he went, hey. And then the next thing he was showing me, he's trying to play with other dogs, you know, and all, you know, he's he loves people, he's jumping on people, he straight away went straight into that. I was like, oh, that's an open book. And he is very smart. He is very smart. So this is the part, he's curious. Okay, this is how I'm going to explain it. So this fella, his purpose here is basically, he's like a kid. So I'm talking about young soul. Okay, so he's here to learn. So he has very high curiosity. So adventurous, explorer, name it, he's that. You get me? So the more new things you teach him, the better he is. And at the same time, he is very communicative. We can put it in Malaysian slang, which is quite kepoci also.
Nosy.
Yes.
There was a family that contacted me several weeks ago about him. And they said that they rescued him as a pup. When he was a year old, he started biting them. He started biting every member of the family. There's 4 of them. They said, can you please give this guy a home? And I said, you know as well as I do, Liz, we're so full. And I said, but if you can give one of our, because I was so touched by this family, having the love for this dog. And I thought, if you can love an animal that bites you this much, surely you can love one of our dogs and give them a good home.
Yeah.
So I agreed to a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And Ginger came to our center, it would be 5 weeks ago now.
Okay.
And for the first 1.5 weeks, so immediately when he came, I spent a lot of time with him, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to put the lead on him. I walked him, I introduced him to other dogs because he was before very territorial, extreme fence possession, or fence protectiveness, okay, aggression. Not good with other dogs at all. Like if you would see one on a walk, he would be very aggressive. So I wanted to really see in a different environment, and he never showed any aggression towards other dogs when I walked him. Never tried to bite me, let me lead him. I was even able to put a muzzle on him, okay? 1.5 weeks.
Right.
And after 1.5 weeks, even though the relationship was very new, I kind of took him for granted. And there was one day when I had locked myself in the kennel with him so that he wouldn't barge his way out. And I was putting the muzzle on him, and he snapped.
Oh.
He totally snapped, and he started to attack me in the locked kennel. And this is why I have this.
All right.
Okay. So it was not a mild attack. And then when it was over, I patched myself up. I went back straight into his kennel. I got him out. I put the muzzle on him, and I socialized him. Because to me, I didn't want to leave it like that.
Yes.
So that's my history with Ginger. And every day since then, I've taken him for walks, I've socialized him, I've spent time with him, I've shown him love. That's why I wanted to see if, there's any way in which we can help him further.
Okay. Seriously, and now,
Yes.
what I see, he is a very happy boy.
Okay.
I would say, okay, I can't compare with the owners because I don't know. As in like, I won't say, as in like, because it's not fair. The owners, the previous owners are not here, so I can't speak on that. But he is very, very happy now. He's a happy boy now. And the thing is that, sorry, there's a fly.
It's alright. We're not gonna. We respect you, fly. Please do your thing. Live a happy life.
Okay, and with your training, I must say you are doing a good, very fantastic work because he seems to love people. Again, I must go into that. He loves people. He has this like, I'm quite eager. I would say like to see you or to see your staff, at the shelter. He's quite eager, and there is that like, when am I going to play with other dogs? When am I going to play with other dogs? So, can I ask you this part, which is, during the training, you socialize him, and he's doing quite well.
He loves to be with other dogs. What you said about him being curious, he jumps up a lot, which we've had to train him not to do. Like he's a very jumpy dog. It's just that because he hasn't been socialized in the past, because it was just unsafe for him to do so in the home environment, he doesn't really understand how it is to be around other dogs. So he's very playful, but not all dogs know how to take him. He's very intense.
A bit too much. All right, understand. Intense. Yeah. So, okay, for him, I will. Okay, looking at his energy level now. Okay, I will. Yes, I understand you mentioned the part that he attacked.
Yes.
You see, this is the part. I won't say he doesn't remember, but it's not an issue. It's like you did something wrong, but it's not wrong. You get me?
I totally get that sense from him. It's forgotten.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's not arrogance, it's not that because you did something to me. It's not that kind of character. It's like, okay, and by God. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting from him. I won't even put it as in like he knows he did it. I mean, he knows he did it wrong, It's wrong for him to do that. it's wrong, but it's not wrong. You get me? It's not just forgotten. It's like, yeah, but it's not out of arrogance. You get me? So I would say maybe during that time with his previous family, they tried to correct him, but the correction was not enforced as in like, because you did that. I think they corrected him, like after, he tried fighting them. They waited, maybe the mom is not around, the dad is not around, I'm not sure, not at home. So they correct him way later. You get me? So it's like...
So he doesn't associate the correction with the behavior.
Yes. Like, what did I do?
Right.
Yeah. Again, it's not out of arrogance. It's a very innocent thing. Yeah. And him, I would suggest that I would call it labor work.
Okay. Get him to put in the hard yards.
Yes, yeah. I would say a bit more intense kind of work. Really this we were chit-chatting earlier, and I mentioned about dogs doing, jumping high wall, and they jump high and they hold on to something, they practice on their grip, things like that. A bit more intense kind of agility. You will see a different him. You definitely can train him for talking buttons.
What's talking buttons?
The button where you record the word and then they will press on it and communicate with you like that. They want to go to toilet, they want to eat, or they're bored, they want to play. That kind. Yeah. So talking buttons. But before that, you have to give him that intense, I won't call it training, intense agility practice.
Lots of exercise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't give him simple things. He gets bored real fast. Yeah, and because he learns real fast.
He is a very smart and quick learner.
Yeah. But I must say, he's doing very, very well with you though.
He's happy.
And he's very attached to you.
How do pets get attached as we understand it? Because do they love in the way that we understand love?
Okay, they love better than us. Okay, human love with conditions. Animals love unconditionally. No matter what you do to me, you may hit me. Yes, I am afraid, but I will still love you.
Do they grieve in the way that we grieve as well, though? Because the reason why I ask is, oftentimes I feel that people attach human emotions to their pets, and this can be very detrimental.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't allow their pets to move on.
Yes.
For example, separation anxiety. It's not really an animal thing. It's a human thing.
Yes.
So we create that separation anxiety in our animals, and we cause them to be unstable.
Yes.
Right? And we think, oh, this animal or this pet is really missing us and all that. So we put all this emotion in the animal. I've actually boarded clients' dogs before that I can honestly tell you they will not care if their owners come and pick them back up. And that's not because they're bad owners.
No.
Okay, but just because they live in the moment, they're very happy, they're getting everything that they need, and they're like, who's feeding me and giving me love? I'm gonna love you. I'm happy.
You know what? You see, this is the thing. You created such a fantastic place. You distracted them. Hello. Okay, they were like, who's my mom? Bye.
I'm just saying that all this emotion that we assign to the animals sometimes is quite false, and I've also seen where in our pack, and once again it is different at our center because there is a pack mentality versus a purely domesticated pet. I've also seen that they can lose a sister, for example, and they've been in the same kennel for years and years with their family, their sister, And the sister passes, because a lot of our dogs are senior, the sister passes. I'll walk the dog past, you know, like when we bury the sister, for Eunice to say the final rites, last goodbye. They don't care.
Yeah.
What's with that?
Okay. This is how I will, okay, I'll explain it as simplified as I can. Alright? Okay. Home pets. Well, it's true, like what you say. The owners put their emotion in. So there is this saying, our pets is our mirror. So I have met pets that are OCD because the owner are OCD. You see? And which is, you are right, the pets have separation anxiety because the owner have separation anxiety. But a lot of owner will deny that. No, I don't have. I'm happy to leave him or her at home. But they forgot that things that they have done. You're going to be home alone, you're going to be okay. I think better not. I'll put a camera there just in case, you know. That is anxiety. It's just different kind of anxiety. So that does, they absorb it, our pets, they absorb it. Alright? Which we have forgotten this part. They are our pets, they are our baby, they are our family. We love them bits and pieces. Okay? But end of the day, they're cats, they're dogs. There's this part. Why I'm saying this is their behavior. Dogs will be dogs, wolf will be wolf. There's certain part they have to be there. So they understand death. Human have worse attachment issue. Cannot let go. So human are the one that grieve the worst. You know, it's not that they don't grieve. They grieve differently. You know, in their way. Because like I had one dog that's told me, so what? Same thing. Local mixed dog, sibling passed away, and then the dog said, like, so what? I'm gonna see her soon. I was like, hey, that's scary. What do you mean soon? You know, they again, that concept, the whole concept for them is a bit different.
And would it also depend on their intelligence, the species of animal that they are?
Yes. They are, those, everything does play a part, as in like the breed and all, but then again, I cannot just use that and generalize, you know. They still do have their own characteristic, which is very individual thing. Yeah. So it's like, again, when I say active, you know, he's playful, he has very high energy. Ginger has very high energy. I'm very sure a lot of people look at it as in like, yeah, he's a local mixed dog. All local mixed dogs are like that. Majority, maybe, but not all. You see? But doesn't mean all high energy, they will do well in agility training. You know? Yes. It may be a different direction.
Yeah.
You see? But Ginger is a bit different. She needs to go through this part, the first part, which is the agility, which is the intense type, okay, because she needs to, he needs to let out this part of him first. And then that's where, now, the second part comes in. It's about being smart. A really, really smart guy, as in like, I'm telling you, he can actually talk to you. That's why I encourage the talking button. He can talk to you. He can solve puzzles. He can do. Okay, we are not going to encourage hunting, but
no.
Yeah, I wanted to say hunting. No, we are not going to encourage that.
Got a couple of cats at home. I can just let out for him. No, we love cats here. We love cats. All right.
I would say treasure hunt.
Okay, treasure hunting.
He will be fantastic. Yeah.
Do people often try to test you or trick you into things? Like, for example, they might show you a photo of a pet that's deceased and see if you know that they're really deceased.
Okay. Thank you, to all my customers. Okay, not many of them have been very, very nice to me, but yes, I have. but not many, not many. Especially I would say for deceased, passed away pet, we are all very respectful. You know, we don't. Yeah. But yes, I have. They were.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about sometimes being on the back foot and having to provide this? Well, wanting to provide the service, but also understanding that people always have their skepticisms, their tests, their already formed beliefs. How do you feel about that?
I think I managed to stay in this line for so long. Is because I always tell myself, no matter what, give my best, do my best. Yeah, I am very sure I'm not going out to con or scam anyone. I will admit if my reading is not good. Sometimes I can tell you I'm not happy with the session that I've done. I'm like, what the heck? Seriously, once the session ends, I'm like, I'm not happy.
What affects that? What can cloud the communication and get things wrong?
Okay, of course, one is my own, I would say my health. If I am sick, I'm not really feeling that good, I shouldn't be doing a session, because again, I can't differentiate whether is the pet feeling it or I'm the one, you know. So if I'm not in a good condition, never work. Second is, which also one of, I must say I have met quite a number of cases like that. It's that the owner thinks that they have very good relationship with their pet, in sense like, I love my dog, I love my cat, I send him for grooming regularly, I buy toys, I dress him or her up, I bring him or her out to cafes, walks, daily basis, whatever. I have very good relationship with my pet. I must say no. It's kind of like materials. You can dress up very, very well. You look, I think there were cases that came out in Facebook where pretty girls, you know, they look so nice, and in the house, I'm very messy people. What I'm trying to say is like, this is the outlook. The outlook. I'm not saying that
facade.
they are. I'm not saying they are fake.
Right.
But you need to know, it's kind of like marrying a guy, marrying a partner for lifetime. You need a bit more than just, oh, he's good looking, oh, he's romantic, you know, that kind of thing. You need a bit deeper.
Substance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the same thing. It's building that relationship. You know, it's not just about spending time. It's about spending quality time. It can be 5 minutes, but it's quality time. You know, it's not about telling your pet, Mommy loves you, Mommy missed you. You know, it's a sharing. How do you, I mean, that's to build that relationship, a deeper relationship.
So do you mean that if the relationship between the owner and the pet is quite superficial, that can affect the accuracy of the reading?
Yes, accuracy and also their intelligence.
Oh, the pet's intelligence?
Yeah.
Because they're not developed, emotionally developed, would you say?
Yeah. No, I won't say not developed, but it is as, like, this is what I know. Again, it's like growing up, you know, you're conditioned that way.
What you've been exposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
A skeptic would say to you, if you can really communicate with my dog, tell him to bring me my slippers now.
Then I will say, let's not forget that your dog do have a free will, but I will try.
I love it. Does anyone actually ask things like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the best part is my friends. They are my friends, my own friends. I'm like, okay, I'll try, but let's not forget they have free will.
Okay. We're almost finished here, but I want to talk a little bit about something that I do struggle with. The concept is the communication with pets who have passed. Okay. Reason being, I find it difficult because I understand energy, atoms, you know, positive, negative energy. I understand that everything has an energy, and that is a fact. And when we pass, the energy literally disperses, right, back into the universe. but to be able to communicate with a being that has physically left us, it's hard for me to swallow that concept, because I'll tell you why. So Liz, my father, when I was in university, he became very ill. He got meningitis, and his brain swelled, right? And he fell into a coma. So while he was in a coma, he had a stroke, and he almost died. But he ended up coming out of the coma with very severe brain damage. And after his rehab and everything, he probably had the mental capacity of a 6-year-old child. Never regained use of his left side.
Okay.
And spent the next 20 years in care. Now, because of the damage to his frontal lobe, he lost his impulse control. So particularly in the early days of his rehab, he had violent outbursts. My dad was never a violent person. Not a fierce guy.
Yeah.
But he would have these violent outbursts, very short temper. His ability to reason was gone. So the dad that I knew was no longer. He became like my child instead of my father.
Yep.
Now that was just from his brain being damaged.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that an animal or creature or a person that is completely brain dead, like has passed, can retain the same sort of characteristics, and then we can communicate with them once they've left our physical world, I do find that very hard to come to terms with. Like I'm very skeptical about.
Yeah, I get you. Totally get you.
So my question is, you obviously believe that we all have a soul, animals have a soul.
Yeah.
And so explain to me what happens when we die, in your understanding.
Okay, I'm going to use this, alright? I'm so sorry, you're beautiful. Okay, so, it's like, this is my pet, right? So, when they are alive, they have what we call the vessel, which is their body, physical body. So physical body consists of bones, muscles, veins, brain, organs, and everything. So all these things are what we call wear and tear, right? I mean, especially when you age, well, you start having issue, that kind of thing, wear and tear. So when they passed on, I use this one. Okay. When they passed on, basically we are saying, that saying of their spirit live their body, their soul live their body. Right? Again, this is just a body. Okay, so when they passed on, this part, you can visualize it as a ball of light. Okay, but this part of the energy does leave. So that's why this is the part where we will cremate and bury. Right, so the essence, the soul, will be there. So when they are sick, because of the physical, the organs and all, it affects, again, your speech. It can be speech, it can be functions, in that way. But when the essence leave, they become complete. That means they are not affected by this anymore. I'm talking about the physical. Right? But do they have full memory, okay, about, like example, in coma, let's say that person wakes up, and then passed on, so we are talking to the soul, the spirit, right? Would the spirit have full memory about, when he was in, or she was in coma? Not necessary.
Right.
Really not necessary. It all depends, because dogs that have dementia, when I try to communicate with, after they passed away, when I try to communicate with them about their passing, the last moment, it's kind of like, like during that time when we still have VCD and DVD, and then you have a scratch, you go, and then it goes, I'm like, oh, what happened to that part?
Right, yeah. Interesting analogy.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, of course, during when they are alive, they have dementia. Of course,
Yes.
you can see the gap.
Right.
It goes blank, like running, like watching a movie, and then
A blip.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that went black. Yeah. So even after passing, not all remember. So it really depends. It's quite an individual thing. But one about dogs that I would say a very common thing that most of them can remember is that they did not eat.
Before they passed, they didn't eat.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, of all things.
I think that would be what I would remember if I went into the afterlife, because I am highly food motivated.
So yeah, that one is one thing they always bring it up. So it all depends. And when we talk about pass away communication, I don't focus so much about how they live their life. Were they happy and all? Because it really happened. So now, during your passing, do you have any regrets, guilt? Okay, usually I would say animals, they don't have all this type of things, guilt, regrets, and so on. They are way more aware than us. They know life and death better than us, right? So they don't have this, but it's always the human that input it into them. How they input it. Don't die. Don't leave me. Mommy will be very sad. I can't live without you. You recover. I promise you I will bring you to some, holiday. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they pass on. They may carry guilt and regrets.
Do they come back in your worldview? Are we reborn?
Yes.
So our pet that has passed could have been a human before,
Yes.
and vice versa.
Yes. Oh my god. Some religion gonna hate me.
You talked about crystals having an energy before.
Mm-hmm.
Crystals have a soul?
They don't have a soul, but they do have that because crystals are some form of living thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not complete in sense like they have a complete soul.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have memory.
Universal energy,
Yeah.
like memory.
Mm.
What is the most basic life form that would have a soul?
Basic.
I would say basic. I won't say lower life form.
Mm.
You mentioned it before we started filming. You said maggots. You're a huge fan of maggots. You like maggots a lot. Is that right? But would maggots have a soul?
They have part. I would say a very minimal, like they because their concept is very simple. I live, I feed, I grow. Yeah, bye.
What terrible thing would someone need to do to be reborn as a part-souled maggot? Like the person that cut me off this morning in the car? Could they get reborn perhaps as a maggot?
Okay, I won't say they will. Only people who does bad things, they were born as a maggot. Okay, this is the part which a lot of people mistaken about karma and about all this thing is that karma, you do bad, it comes back that way, and then like there's some belief that if you have done something very bad in your life, you reborn as a pig. Guess what? No, it is your choice. It's part of the journey. So we are talking about a journey which is not just one lifetime. We're talking about a very long journey. Okay, in this journey where maybe there is that small little part that you need to be an animal or an insect, to gain that little experience that you need to move to the next one, to the next life. So maybe you have extra time to spare, like, I'm coming back as a maggot for fun.
plenty to eat.
It could be. Seriously, it's not because you did something wrong. You're that person.
You chose that that vehicle.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
It's like, hey, you know what? I have some time. Let's be barfly.
When you contact a pet that has that is deceased, does it feel different? How does it feel different? If you contact a pet that is an old soul, how does it feel different? What's the vibe? How is the vibe different?
Usually I won't be able to catch in the beginning. Okay, that means like when I ask permission and all, I won't get it. But when we do a session, as while we talk, and then there are that like, it's so calm. Okay, it's so calm. That is the first thing. Second is like the way he talks or she talks. And it's like, it's really like a wise man giving you advice. And why are you bothered by it? Live your life. Mind your own business. I'm like, oh my God.
They start to give you advice.
Yeah. You know, that way. That's when you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then the more you talk, you realize that he knows life.
Okay. Wisdom.
Yes.
And what about if they have passed? Is there a different vibe?
When they passed on.
Yeah, let's say you're trying to contact a deceased.
When they passed on, yes, they do have. The wise one, when they are alive, they are wise. Passed away, they are even wiser. The things they say is just unbelievable. You know, I wouldn't think of it.
But they don't feel like more distant to you, like let's say.
No,
not at all. Even if they've passed, no.
No, yeah. And when they pass away, they do come back for visiting.
How long do they come back though?
Very individual. I had one case that the dog stayed behind for 1 year over. And you see, that's the best part. Because the owner engaged me. I don't know what's going on. Okay. The next thing I know is like the dog was saying like, oh, you know, Chinese New Year coming soon. Okay, I know Chinese New Year coming soon, right? And then the next round, the owner contacted me again and then said, well, check on him and all. And then he was like, no, I'm not going. There's a rat in the room. And the mom was like, yes. I was like, okay. And then next thing he was like, no, I'm not going anytime soon. Baby coming soon. I was like, baby coming soon? Delivering soon? And the mommy said yes.
That's uncanny.
I was like, okay. Alright.
It's a really K-Pochi dog.
Yes. And then the next thing I know, again, owner contacted me. I checked on him. He was like, baby started walking. And then the owner was like, yeah. Yeah. But at the end of the day, finally we understood his mission. There was an accident at home. The other pet passed away. He stayed behind. Yeah. Just that there are some things they know they can't tell us. Yeah. So he lived on for 1 year and I think 8-9 months.
To watch over.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for spending so much time with me.
Thank you.
Now, how can people contact you? What's the best way? What's your email? Obviously, we're going to put all your details in the links as well in the description below. But you also teach?
Yes.
On animal communication?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the best way for people to reach you?
WhatsApp, that's for sure. Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Perfect. And because it's Valentine's Day, I want to say, Liz, I love you.
I love you too.
And we love all of you. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.